All right, we're at 12 o'clock on the nose, so we're gonna kick off our monthly assessment office hours. My name's Jeanette Kick. I am Chief of Federal Programs. If we shift to the next slide, I'm going to give the team an opportunity to introduce themselves, and then I will quickly run through today's agenda, and we'll kick off this office hour session.
Hi everyone, I'm Krista Averill. I'm the assessment coordinator for the Maine Through Year Assessment in Reading and Math, as well as the Maine Science Assessment. And I'll turn it over to Michelle.
Hi, good afternoon. I am Michelle Gangelfinger, and I am the assessment coordinator for the English Language Proficiency Assessment, as well as the Multi-State Alternate Assessment.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Regina Lewis, the coordinator of NAEP and International Assessments for the team. And behind the scenes today, we have Daniela Crone running the slides. And we also have a business analyst, Leah Jarvis, who she provides a lot of the data that you folks need.
Thank you all. So today we're going to run through our general updates related to our WIDA access, alternate access, and access for kindergarten. Krista will share some insights and updates regarding Maine's 3-year assessment. Regina will share insights and updates regarding to NAEP. And then Michelle will provide additional information regarding the alternate assessment. And Krista will round out our time together with the Maine Science Assessment. So our team works to provide high quality technical assistance to Maine SAUs and schools around the Maine Educational Assessments, which we affectionately call the MEAs. At the center of the work is the development and delivery of accessible and accurate communication resources, navigable support materials such as guides and manuals, and relevant, engaging professional learning experiences for Maine educators. Through the team's technical assistance work, our priority remains to service Maine schools, educators, students, and families to the best of our ability. I'm going to pass over the slides to Michelle.
Okay, so the first assessment we're going to talk about today is our WIDA suite of assessments. And I want to start off, you'll see on here, if you've been paying attention to the dates of our window, January 5th, you'll see that the end date has now changed if you're not aware of that yet. We have extended the window until March 10th. Just giving some SAUs. We had a lot of SAUs reach out to us regarding some concerns related to attendance. And so we were able to extend that date until March 10th. So you see that date on here. On the next slide is our timeline for the assessments. So again, that date, you'll see that date change here. One thing that did not change, though, is I want to point out is that all of the materials still have to be sent back by that ending date of March 10th. So that date in of itself did not change. And the reason that we kept that date the same is that way it doesn't impact any of the reports coming out. So even though we've extended the window a little bit, you still will be able to get your reports available in WIDA AMS, and your printed reports that become available to SAUs. All of that will remain the same. Another important date that I want you to keep up, if you did have a student that needs a less than 4 domain request. Some of our students that are deaf and hard of hearing, they qualify for that less than 4 domains request. And so those are due back to me by February 20th. So as long as I receive those by February 20th, you're good. We will not be able to accept any requests for less than 4 domains after that February 20th date. You still are able to order additional materials if you need them. Make sure you're doing that through the additional materials order. And just keep in mind that at this point, if you do need to order, if you had a student that moved in that needs the alternate access, those materials, or if you have a kindergartner move in, those materials do need to be ordered ASAP, as it does take a little bit of time for those materials to come through. There's an approval process for that. So make sure that you're following the directions to order those materials. So in order to place the new materials, you go to that additional materials. The directions are pretty clear cut there. So you just go through and follow the directions and submit your order, and then you will have your materials within a few days. It has been taking a little bit longer than normal this year, I've heard from SAUs. So just make sure if you do need something, please make sure that you order those right away. WIDA, the WIDA Secure Portal, as well as DRC Insights, does have a lot of helpful information. If you have questions, you can always go to those website links. There's a lot of online help. WIDA puts out webinars each month related to what's important right now, but March there will be some additional webinars that you can access, and they do record those. So if you have questions, you can go into the We to Secure portal under webinars and look for the different topics of webinars that you can watch. Lots of very helpful information there. WIDA DRC has knowledge articles. You just do a search for any topic that you might be interested in finding additional information. And what is really nice about those knowledge articles is they outline step by step by step of the steps that you need to take in order to do some of the different tasks. So, and then there is online help. You can always go to the online help if you have questions that you're unable to find answers for. And then on this next slide, here's the contact information that you need. If you need to reach out to WIDA Client Services or DRC, here is the information that you need. You can reach out to WIDA DRC or Client Services. The hours they have specific hours that you're able to reach out to them. You can always email me or give me a call if you have any questions that DRC or WIDA Client Services are unable to answer. I try very hard. Sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to get answers during the assessment window because I'm having lots of things come in, but I do work really hard to get right back to you. Now I'm going to turn it over to Krista for Maine Through Year.
Thank you, Michelle. So we're going to start first with the optional winter administration, which started on January 5th and is running through February 13th. Just as a quick note, no special consideration exemption requests need to be submitted for this optional administration. February 6th, which is this Friday, is your last day to request an assessment reset. And then February 23rd through the 27th is the SAU data cleanup window. March 18th will be the last day to run operational reports, such as the testing status summary report for the winter administration, with the exception of the student score data file, which will become available on March 25th. We have several professional learning offerings coming up. Today at 3:15, we have an interim reports session, and that session will be repeated on Monday, February 9th at 3:15. There is a balanced assessment system session coming up on Monday, March 2nd at 3:15. This includes both the Maine Through Year and Maine Science Assessments. And then on Monday, March 16th is a focused Maine Through Year assessment session that will look at both structure of the assessment and reporting. For the Maine Through Year assessment, if you're having any technical issues with the Acacia platform, the State Solutions Secure Browser, or the MapGrowth platform, please reach out to NWEA Maine Partner Support. The Maine DOE MEDM support team can assist you with updating student enrollment information in Synergy, as well as updating staff information in NEO. And I'm here to help with any questions related to assessment content, accessibility, scoring, reporting, and policy, as well as any problems that NWEA partner support or the MEDM support team are not able to resolve. And with that, I'm going to pass it to Dr. Lewis.
Okay, so we're starting with NAEP and the International Assessments. The NAEP window is open. We're in the middle of week 2 of the administration. As of close of business yesterday, 17% of the schools have completed the assessment. Here I've linked some school coordinator guidance documents to the slide. Those, be careful of which model the school is participating with, meaning whether the school is using their own devices or NAEP provided devices, and the guidance is specific to those with step-by-step by the tasks described in the tiles within the AMS. Important activities to be provided include reviewing the list of students on the Add New Students tile, checking to see if there's any additional students that are selected for the assessment, designating accommodations for students, and notifying all families of student selection prior to the assessment, and providing the information to the assessment team that's coming in from NAEP to, just little logistics such as where to park and school start and end times, etc. Okay, we have some resources linked on the Maine DOE NAEP webpage, and these are parent translations, should you need those to notify the parents, as well as detailed information about inclusion and accommodations, which may help you decide which accommodations to select. And for other resources about NAEP, including, if you want to give the kids the experience of taking NAEP assessments, or you're just curious for yourself, maybe the school board wants to participate. Then we have some take NAEP Now pop quizzes, the publicly available survey questionnaires, so you know what students may be asked. It's available for schools as well, and even a video of the assessment tutorials. And here, if you need to know whom to ask for when you have questions about NAEP, there's the NAEP field representatives, for especially important for school delay or closing, a need to reschedule or a change in assessment logistics. Myself for assessment date change requests, model switches, which means if you feel that the Chromebooks that you have at your school may not run the NAEP assessment, which has about approximately the same technical requirements as our state assessments, or other questions related to policy, could bring those to me. And we have the NAEP AMS and ENAEP help desk, which is to do with installing the app on the devices, or if you have account access problems and you already have an established account. I can help an established account, but sometimes the technical issues are beyond me, and and we need that help desk. And on to Michelle.
All right, so now an update around the multi-state alternate assessment. So we have some important dates that I want to highlight. So first of all, the MSAA system will go live for spring 2026 on February 17th. So that is coming right up, and that is when the training modules will become available. A TC survey did go out in January, and that needed to be completed. The deadline for that was January 30th. The purpose of that survey was to identify the designated test coordinators for the 2026 MSAA spring administration. And if that survey was not completed, your TC will not be added during the initial uploaded. And if that did happen, if for some reason you missed that deadline, please reach out to me because we can still get them on. I just need to do it a different format. So, and there was on that survey, there was a new question related to the number of years the TC has been in this role. Throughout this year, MSAA partners and Cognia, we've been working together to add a refresher course to our training modules. And so I do have a slide for that on the next slide. So I want to share that information with you. July 13th through September 18th is the reporting window. So that is the time that your test coordinators have to go into the system and make sure that they print out those reports for the MSAA and MSAA Science. Once that window closes on the 18th, those reports are no longer accessible through the platform. Okay, so the training modules, I'm really, really happy. One of the things that we have test administrators do each year is to fill out a test administrator survey. And one thing that we've heard is that, is there any way we can shorten up those training modules that they have to do each year? So what we've done is we now have a condensed, instead of the 6 training modules that your TC and TAs have had to take, there is 4 TAs and TCs who are experienced TAs and TCs. So they've done the training for a couple of years. And your SAU has not had any early stopping misadministrations or test irregularities. They will be eligible to do this MSAA refresher training module. That's just 4 training modules instead of the 6. The TAs still must complete an 80% on the final quiz based on these 4 training modules. And they have 3 attempts to do that. So they should be able to do that within 3 attempts. If for some reason they are not able to pass it with 80% within the 3 attempts, they do have to go back and do all of the 6 modules. But based on the questions, that 3 attempts is a great, that they should have no trouble in completing that within those 3 attempts. We do have a couple of upcoming training opportunities. And here's a list of those professional learning opportunities that are provided through the Maine Department of Education. You can see a full list of all of Maine Department of Education trainings on the events calendar, but these 2 here are specific to the MSAA. There's one this afternoon, and it's really for new test administrators, and much of the information is in the training modules that they have to do, but I like to do a virtual training that people can come, and that way they can ask questions if they have them, go through that. So that's this afternoon, and they can still register for that on the event calendar if they would like to attend that. Then also we have an early stopping rule. I am offering this one twice. This one will be offered on February 25th as well as March 3rd. It is a required training for any SAUs who have had early stopping misadministrations. The process for early stopping rule is a pretty straightforward process. So if SAUs are following those steps as outlined in the guidance, then early stopping misadministration should not happen. So if there are any, I provide the early stopping rule training, and I do that to date, so that way you can pick and choose which one is best for your schedules. And again, here, this pointing out that the training modules will go live in the MSA platform, and those are the required training modules. That is February 17th. So who do I contact for help or support? You can reach out directly to the service desk for issues with the platform, questions related around account permissions, creation, any mandatory trainings, or help logging into the system. You can reach out to me for policy questions, fixing students who may not appear on the roster, or any problems that the MSAA service desk is unable to answer. I am here and happy to help guide you through any questions you might have. And Krista, I believe it's back to you.
Thank you. We are moving on to the Maine Science Assessment. So the spring administration is coming up on February 25th. ADAM, which is the Assessment Delivery and Management Platform, will open to district assessment coordinators, and DACs will receive an email with information about accessing their account closer to that date. On February 25th, only the high school rosters and administrations will be available. At that time, you can create high school classes, manage supports and accommodations, access test tickets, and make additional proctor groups. On March 24th, the grades 5 and 8 rosters are available in ADAM. At that time, you'll be able to create classes and manage supports and accommodations. And then 1 week later, the test administrations will also become available. At that time, you can access test tickets and make additional proctor groups as needed. Although you can access test tickets much earlier than the administration windows, we do recommend that you wait to print out those test tickets, as they are secure testing materials. April 1st through the 17th is the high school administration window. This is for students in their 3rd year of high school. And May 11th through the 22nd is the grades 5 and 8 administration window. We have 2 professional learning offerings coming up for the Maine Science Assessment. The first one I had previously mentioned, which is regarding balanced assessment systems, and that's Monday, March 2nd at 3:15. And then we have a second session on Monday, March 23rd at 3:15, which is for understanding the Maine Science Assessment structure and reporting. This spring, we are making a transition from students accessing the ADAM Lockdown browser as a standalone app to accessing ADAM via the TestNav secure browser. We're making this change in order to enhance security and control. The ADAM Lockdown browser relies on a third-party application, whereas TestNav is fully managed under Pearson's technology and security family. So Pearson will have enhanced risk monitoring and mitigation through behind-the-scenes dashboards, allowing for real-time support to schools. What will change in this transition is how you download the secure browser, as well as how students launch the secure browser from their student devices the first time that they access it. The first time that the student goes into TestNav, they will need to select the Maine icon, as you can see in the screenshot here, in order to access the Maine Science Assessment login page. If they accidentally do select that ADAM icon, they can very easily get back to this main page. What will not change is the student experience once they're logged in. The navigation within ADAM and the accessibility features remain the same. The proctoring procedures will also remain the same, and assessment coordinator and technology coordinator access to adamexam.com will also remain the same. So the steps that you can take care of now are to remove the old ADAM app from student devices and to download the secure browser from Pearson's TestNav download page. If you need any help with the Maine Science Assessment, the KITE Service Desk is here to provide help regarding accessing reports in the KITE reporting platform. I'm here to help with any questions related to content, accessibility, scoring, reporting, as well as policy. If you need help at creating accounts in KITE, I can do that for you as well. And then the Maine Science Support Desk is here to help with, at this time, the download and installation of the TestNav secure browser. if you go to the website and click Request Help, which is in the upper right-hand corner of the site. Our manuals, guides, and training modules are coming out on a rolling basis, and we expect all of them to be available in early March. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Jeanette.
Thank you. Just a couple of quick reminders that we do have multiple dashboards available within our website. So there are elements now live in QuickSight. So those assessment dashboards and the English language proficiency dashboards that you're familiar with are now embedded within QuickSight. District level users can run assessment data reports, and you can filter and manipulate that data by school year, subgroups, student populations, demographic information, and much, much more. Create visualizations. It's absolutely phenomenal. So take a look at that for sure. And then also within there is the ELP assessment and annual growth target data reports. So if you're specifically looking for those reports for your students to see how they're progressing to the targets for proficiency related to English language proficiency, you can access those within QuickSight. And then just another reminder regarding that, though, superintendents can request access for DACs using the link that we've included in the slide deck. We'll make sure we get these slides to you at the conclusion of this session. So that will take you directly to the link to request access on behalf of your staff. And if you have any questions navigating any of these dashboards and running reports, our data warehouse coordinator, Brett Molan, holds drop-in office hours every Wednesday at 12 noon. And we've given you the link there directly so you can access those QuickSight office hours to get any support that you need.